Okay, yeah, juu kidogo. Aya, asante sana. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, well, good morning. Hiyo ni ng'ang'a, kazi yake ni kukuwa mtu wa Chelsea. Anasahau nini. All right, let's do that again. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. How are you doing? It is another beautiful Tuesday right here on Daybreak. So good to you to see me. I almost said so good to see you. So good for you to see me. Nisonge hivi. Nisonge hivi. It's so good to be seen by you. And so today I want to talk about something very interesting. As always, we try to make it as interesting as possible and as thought-provoking as possible. Now, over the past few years, especially with COVID coming and everything, people have really had to relook their relationships. The cases, of course, if you look at even in court, the cases of divorce are on the rise. If you look at the papers, everything is, relationships. People are talking about them more and more and more and more and more, which then begs the question, why do people get into relationships or leave relationships, right? But one of the biggest things has been, hata ukisema tu kwa Mkenya, tuma fair. It wouldn't be, they will not say that it is about going to destination A. Ukisema tuma fair, it's almost synonymous with uko na mechi. It's about to go down. And so you need to facilitate the events, yes, the machinization of the things. So mostly all relationships, I think, have become more economical, I think, and it governs really why people get into them and why people don't want to leave them. I want to talk about that and more today. And of course, you're welcome to share your views on hashtag Daybreak or 22422 to help us with the conversation. We have Roberta Bobby.
Hey, morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Easy peasy?
Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy? Japanese?
I'm so happy today.
It's good. It's good. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Shazmin Bang?
Yes.
Good to see you as well.
You too.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here. Yes. Yeah. By the end of this year, we're gonna get more.
Deal.
All right. CJ.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'll stay humble. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. You see, that's why I introduced you before Shatter, because it's important to introduce the David before Goliath. CJ is, I don't even know if Over the Moon had a higher place, he's there. He's way up there. Yeah, because of his team, Liverpool is doing amazing for now.
Pia wakona show off. They just can't go thrashing boys vibaya hivyo.
No, you see, that's the problem.
2 goals was enough. Now the
problem
third, fourth,
is,
now just that
and I talk with my bias notwithstanding, you don't call your team boys and we know they're infants. That is Arsenal. But anyway, before they talk about Man U, let me hold my peace. Right, so let's get right into the conversation. Shatter Boy.
Wagwan.
Happy belated birthday one more time.
Thank you.
Boy Child.
Yes.
Siku hizi anaangaliwa as the route to escape poverty and or the route to financial sustainability. True or false, and what do you think about that?
Hiyo ni ukweli. Najianza leo. Nimekuaga tu. What I want boys to know is that don't let oxytocin cheat you that they are in need for love. It is security they are looking for.
Right.
Everywhere. Everyone is looking for security. Love squeezes are by the way. First of all, ni kama unaweza sustain maisha yake na yako. Then we will consider love. Ukishajua hiyo, you can live a happy life. Otherwise, unajiset up for disappointment after disappointment.
Right.
If you think love is going to keep them there.
But is it wrong, Roberta, for ladies and gents, because these days it's both ways, by the way, to want a good lifestyle or life?
I don't think it's wrong, because the reason we get into relationships of any sort is because we need something from the other person, whether it's to be loved, whether it's validation, whether for whatever reason you're in the relationship for, both of you want something from each other. It's just that maybe sometimes we're not very clear with what it is that we need in the situation. And then the problem comes in where someone is taking or taking advantage of the situation, because to be honest, in the world as it is right now, most relationships have to be symbiotic, because
hold on, I have to move, and since they can see me, they'll be wondering what's up.
It's a bit
okay.
It's a bit sorry, it's a bit unrealistic.
Oh, Hamai has an issue. All right, sorry. So we'll go to we're gonna fix your mic.
Yeah.
Leo. Red card. All right. So we'll hold the thought, okay? She cleared to Apple. Same question I asked her about, you know, people would argue that, I mean, I want to be comfortable, I want to be okay, I want to be safe, I need somebody who at least has health insurance or can afford it going forward. So is it wrong to get in for, at least on your list, financial, you know, sort of sustainability?
Well, you can get in for financial sustainability, but then the relationship won't be sustainable because the base of any relationship is going to have to be compromise and commitment and communication. So those are the 3 C's that make it work. But then at the end of the day, even when you look at the change in relationships, you know, you've got traditional relationships where people have come together because, you know, we meet each other's basic needs. You know, it's more I before we, this kind of relationships like the traditional, our grandparents, you know, how the Indian culture comes together, you make it work for the family. It's more, okay, our goals and values kind of align, but, you know, we'll be together to survive it. We're in this relationship, we'll have children. Whether I want love, whether I want more or not, I don't think I can get it from this kind of a traditional relationship. And these are the relationships you see where people stayed. They didn't thrive, they just survived it. But then you now have people moving into conscious relationships. Conscious relationship is truly where it is a we, where I make an effort to make you a priority, where love does matter, where you also love you understand there are times love won't be enough to make the relationship work, but both of you are so aligned to want growth. You're so aligned to one individuality, and that individuality brings the 2 of you together in a beautiful way. Your union serves you in a beautiful way. You have power struggles, you'll have fights, but the end goal is we're not threatening to leave, we're looking at how this relationship can work. And conscious relationships sometimes only don't end up working when one or the other couple feels I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to move, and this relationship's holding me down in a certain way. And the last relationship's the transcendent relationship, where your relationship is, you've moved from the concept of we. You've moved from the 3 stages of a relationship where, you know, the first stage is unconditional. The second stage is trading. You give me, I give you. You don't give me, I don't give you. The third stage is I'm looking for an escape plan. You've moved away from all of that. Your union together is about how do we serve humanity? How does our love impact other people? How do we do good together? There are very few couples that emulate that. Right. But, you know, these are the 3 stages of a relationship. Now when you want to throw in people coming together for finance, it's in between traditional and very far from conscious. Because, you know, think about it. When you were growing up, everyone has this concept of love. Everyone's looking to be loved. It's the amount of pain you've been through. It's age hitting you. It's, you know, you feeling I might never find love. Let me just settle with what seems like a friendship. Let me settle with this compromise. And very often, you might be in the relationship thinking I'm giving it my all, but Roberta's feeling this is convenience. I'm getting basic needs met. I'm getting shelter. He's paying, you know, essential needs. Why would I leave? For now.
Yeah,
but it's not sustainable.
Yeah, for now is the key part. And you mentioned something there. So is it also sort of, again, growing up, CJ, we've said it here often, that the expressions of love that we saw was gifts, when you know, being paid for school fees and stuff like that. So we probably thought that, oh, okay, I guess if I want to show you I love you, I simply provide and that's it. So then now women are programmed to look for providers. I mean, it's said it's normally priest provider. The other I've forgotten. Prayer warrior, but it comes in priest. So it's kind of like a template that people have to look for financial, you know, sustainability.
You know, in the past, generally, marriage was literally an institution where people came in to play roles. Then as we became more conscious, we started putting a bit more demands on it. And that has changed the ability of people to play those roles. Because, for example, in the past, if a man was just supposed to provide, That's all he needed to do. Then now you will demand from him attention, affection, appreciation, affirmation, and all of that. He probably doesn't even know how to play out that. So something else has been added, and probably the person is not empowered to do that. And what he was used to doing probably has been taken away, where the girl can provide for herself as well. So roles have changed, expectations have changed. But have we really invested in what we get into? My thinking would be, why did theirs last more than probably ours? People will say, well, they took in toxicity and stuff. But I think they were very clear about why they got into what they got into. We generally are not very clear. And as you say, you know, the expressions of love. So somebody will come in and their expression of love is the things that they receive, things that they are given, the time that they spend. Somebody wrote a book about the 5 love languages, you know. So there's somebody who feels my love language is acts of service. And one of them may be bringing gifts, and the other one says, look, I don't feel loved because he doesn't help me with anything or she doesn't help me with anything. We have also raised a lot of expectations, so much that we are also becoming very, very impatient with those expectations not being met. It has not been gradual. It has been a very sudden shift from what Shazmin would say traditional to conscious. It's been a very sudden shift. And anytime change is sudden, there is fear, there's anxiety, there is a feeling of loss. People want to protect themselves. And anytime they see that, they easily rebel. So it's easier for people to actually walk out of relationships today than it was before, because they're into this thing and they really don't know whether it is working or not. Our parents, grandparents, probably up to my generation, which is not grand anything, knew that we're coming into this for this. Expectations, very clear. Then you come in to stay. You know you're going to have a bit of issues, but you'll work them out. You'll stay for whatever reason, but you will stay in there. Eventually, you find your rhythm. Today, we have not very clear expectations. That's why somebody will walk out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it can't be that all 6 people have a problem, Willis. So I think that until we're very clear about why we get into relationships, why we are even getting into marriage unions, mostly it will be for convenience.
Yeah, and a lot of people, Shatta, when you talk about, even just still going back to the model that we were used to in terms of have to not grant anything, it still, you know, begs, you know, the question of, okay, there are defined roles. Then there was a lot of toxicity. Then the shift happened, like Shazmin has mentioned. So now we're in a place where we are dealing with all these things, and that shift has not only happened, the consciousness, now the places to look for consciousness, mostly people are looking for it online. And now that's where the pressure starts. Do you think online has contributed a lot to this? Because you will see a wedding or a family, you'll see a wedding, say, with a chopper. You'll see families living in these humongous mansions. And then you want that for yourself. And then you look at that picture, and you're sitting there, then you look at your man. You're like, no. What's going on? There's a lot of comparison, is what I'm trying to say. Is comparison one of the major things that is, you know, leading to these unions of convenience?
Definitely, but what kitu nafikiria ni ati hizi roles hazija change. The way it used to be kitambo ndio iko. Only that squeezy, they are not spoken. Why? Because people are too delicate. You know, so they hide. Oh, it's love, it's all. But deep down, of course, you know they want you to provide these things. They're just not telling you. Like zamani ungeambiwa tu outright mzae, you have to provide in this house. Sahi wataificha because they think you're too delicate. Ukiambiwa utasema they are using me. But at the end of it all, you are expected to do that. And if you don't do it, they won't tell you, but they will act out. Unaona? Si ndio? Na hiyo comparison pia ni I keep saying tunafundisha kwa kujicompare na watu from an early age in school. That's why I always say in school they should abolish uniform. Hizi uniform watoiva shule, they should be abolished because you go to school, they give you a uniform and they tell you you're equal. Now compete. You see, just because you're wearing the same clothes, now you're equal.
But I think uniform was supposed to make things,
They tried to show you your uniform. That is the word, your uniform.
Yeah, in terms of what if somebody is coming from a well-off...
That is the point.
Mtu atakuja hapo amedunga ma bling money and a thing.
That is it.
And then you have...
You need to grow up seeing that. Because if you give me the same uniform with Roberta, does not mean now she's not from a well-off family. When she goes home, she is still Roberta. She's in school, she's in that uniform, she's that person. So when you're cheating me, growing up thinking I'm the same with her, we finish school, her parents get her a job or give her inheritance, and my parents can't do that, I start thinking, what is this? But we were equal in school. Unaelewa? That comparison starts, it is planted in you as you grow up. Now when you're here and social media is giving you pressure all over, and as a man you're supposed to provide, and your lady is looking at you and you're like, this is what other men are doing. You need to be doing this. Where were you when they were getting their money?
Like they say, where was my father when shamba zilikuwa zinagaiwa, when guys were stealing?
Yeah. The biggest problem is that we have clouded so many things. Things need to be said out. Like iko hivi na iko hivi. Grow up ukijua hii ndio kweli ya mambo and live with it. Don't adjust to it when you're a grown up. Yeah, man.
All right, so we'll let Roberta make her initial points now that things diko gangani. You're talking about in terms of if it is okay, is it okay? You're talking about is it okay for, to say, kila mtu anataka soft life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. But then again, like where we're at with things, even in the 21st century, it's very important that you have your own things, whether you're a woman or a man or anything. And then you have to get into relationships with a clear dissonance of what exactly it is that you want, because like I was trying to say, all of us want something, whether it is intimacy that you want from this person, whether it is just because you're getting what you want doesn't mean that this person is not also going to try to get what they want, or that with what you want they're okay with that. You have to communicate the dynamics of the relationship and what it is exactly that you're getting from it. So the problem comes in where someone starts trying to take advantage of you, whether it's emotionally or financially, because some people just want to be around you or with you just so they can leech, so they can suck on your energy, suck on your finances, suck on your whatever it is that they're gaining from you. So it's very important that you know for yourself why you're in whatever union you are in and what your requirements are. Because at the end of the day, we all need something, whether it's as subtle as, I just want validation, I just want love, I want affirmations from you, or the intimacy is good, whatever reason it is. So yes, I think it's very difficult to be in a relationship that's not symbiotic, because the moment you're giving, you definitely expect to get back, and it kind of beats the unconditional part. But I think the only person who can truly fully love you unconditionally is yourself, because you love yourself through when you're feeling ugly, when you're feeling broke, when you're feeling tired, and when you're happy and you feel good. And it's not easy to get that kind of love from someone else, even your girlfriend, even your child. Because even the kind of love that parents have with their kids, it's, I'm providing, I love you, but I expect even the basic decency, the basic respect. So that makes that love conditional in its own way, and that's okay. It's just that we have to cut a bridge whereby it's a clear difference between why I'm in this relationship and what it is for. So, because yeah, when you're a giver, people tend to take, and then it cuts across your boundaries, and now you're not able to tell, I'm in this relationship for this. So when you're getting into relationships, it's very important that I'm with Roberta for this. This is what I expect of her, and this is what I will give her, because this is how she feels loved, etc, etc. So most relationships are symbiotic and for some sort of convenience. But the problem comes in where someone else is taking it too far and now taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
You said symbiotic, and I remembered my high school teacher. I won't mention the name because they are still teaching. And he used to say, because we were learning about, and he used to say, there are two types of relationship. Symbiotic, where we gain from each other, or parasitic, you are taking from me and failing my exam. So
That's the easiest.
that's the easiest way to explain it, and,
Yeah.
and I think so as well. So, but then we are facing another thing where, okay, so people are now staying and taking so much of abuse because, again, it is convenient for me to stay. Not even the convenience in terms of how will I start again? How will I go look for somebody else and then start dating and then meet their parents and then pay dowry and then do the whole ceremony and then all of that stuff. It's just this madam has money or this sir has money, so it is easier for me to stay because there's no way I'll stop flying first class in a Range Rover to go start again because of, you know, my sanity. And that's what some people think. Like, let me just stay. I mean, he's doing good. He's not, I'm still here. So how does one grapple with that? Because now it is also convenient to stay, not even to get into it. It's convenient for you to stay. If you weigh your options, it is convenient to stay.
So first, I'd say, if women expect men to just solely be the provider, and you just want to be with the man because he's a provider, then be the emotional provider for him. Because I feel women are men's spine. You're his backbone. You want him to bring the world to your feet, then support him, be on that journey with him while he's doing it. It's toxic for men to go out there and work so hard and try so hard and accomplish so much just to give it to a woman because that's all she wants. Like, I already feel that is just such a red flag for a man to be in a relationship with a woman like that. You want the woman that when you don't have everything, she's the person pushing you that we can do this, we can have it, why not? And when you have it, she teaches you how to care for it, how to invest it, how to, make it more. And then if you ever lose it again, she's the same person who's your comfort. So I think that should really define things for men, because men get so confused with, how do I know if I am with the right woman? How do I know if I'm with the woman that's just with me for my money? You will know. But, to also answer your question, it's relationships that are staying for convenience. I'm going to stay with you just for money. We're not built for that. We're built to seek love. We're built to give love. That's our nature. So this is then becomes the problem of where affairs come in. Because I might be with you and you're providing me this great financial life, but what happens to my emotional life? What happens to my spiritual life? I want to experience all of that with one person. So I might settle here with that, but I'm going to go outside the relationship and look for where my needs can be met in other ways. Because as human beings, we're built to meet 6 human needs. You have to. And that's why they say a relationship, if you can hit 4 of those human needs, significance, loving connection, variety, certainty and uncertainty, growth and contribution. Growth and contribution being the most spiritual of, the human needs. If you're meeting 4 of them in a relationship, your partner will never leave. You have a raving fan for life. But if this relationship's only meeting comfort, it's only meeting certainty, I have to seek love and connection somewhere. I have to seek significance. I've got to seek variety somewhere. It might be in a hobby, then it might be at work, it might be with the boys or the girls, or it ends up being in the affair. But you will never solely find somebody just stayed and was fulfilled with the Range Rover or, this kind of the private jet life. We're not built for that. We're built to enjoy it. Why not? Why not have that kind of luxury? But what if you have that luxury with the partner you love, the partner you want to experience life with, the partner you want to thrive with, the partner you have passion with? None of that is going to come unless 2 people are ready to consciously work towards maintaining that. So this life of convenience, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
You move from one dating to the next dating because you meet my inert needs of loneliness, of fear, of abandonment, of rejection, but you're not fulfilling the part of me that wants a soulful relationship.
And is it true then, CJ, that like Shaz has mentioned, and men know that huyu naye anatakanga tu pesa. This one is for the money, so I'll give her the money, then I'll go and look for convenience elsewhere? And then also, does it change then how a man will treat you if they know that this is just the money?
Well, sometimes people get stuck in relationships that they know are abusive or even toxic. Sometimes people, they know they're being used, but...
They know that is like, the man may know that we are going to me.
Yes.
Right.
But then again, they get to the place where they begin to enable it and they accommodate it. They'll never walk out. And they may be sitting with you and receive a text, I need this. And they'll show you, well, it's now, see, she needs this right now. But he'll still send it.
Yeah,
he'll still send it. He won't refuse. He'll still send it. And he will never raise that issue with her and say, look, I feel like you're always just asking for money. There's nothing else we talk about or something. It's the fear that Shatta was talking about, where people don't want to tell each other the truth because people are very sensitive. So there are people who know that, but they'll still stick with it. And they'll say, well, I've probably invested time in this. At least that is one weakness that I know, so let me just keep it going. But slowly, their trust dies, their energy begins to die. Anytime they will see a text or a phone call, they just feel like, okay, so she needs something, or he needs something. Then they compartmentalize that person. So there's a place then that they will never get into in their connection, which is intimacy. Because the moment I see your text or I see your call, I'm just thinking, he needs something.
How much now?
Yeah, she needs something.
Yeah.
So they keep you. But again, even in such cases, the reason they will keep this person is because they also have a certain benefit to it. You will realize that probably the person will overlook this annoying behavior because there's nobody who doesn't offer anything. There's something that person offers, which they also like. It may be something as like physical, intimacy. So they enjoy the physical intimacy with this person. Maybe the person is this wild person who brings out the crazy in them. And so they don't want to give up that.
So they keep on.
So they'll just keep on.
Yeah, let's just fund the crazy.
There's a part. They don't like a lot of stuff, but then there's a part
that's there like, and anyway, 07. Yeah.
So I think you see, and it is becoming harder and harder. While listening to Shazban, I'm thinking it's harder and harder to find even 4 in one person. It's harder and harder because, again, we've spent a lot of time trying to earn a living than to be better people. We're spending so much time building careers, trying to make progression, advance financially. We're not taking time to become better people. So each and every day, we're actually losing a sense of humanity while we are pursuing these things. Because how many times do you just sit with yourself and say, I want to become this better person, and then you follow through on that? Most of the time, you're just thinking, if I get better money, the day, once I set off this, once we have our own house, once we have this, then I'll be more present. Then you get more money, then you realize there's something else that you need to do. And the next thing, people have become so goal-oriented that they're missing out on the people connection part of it. So it's becoming very hard. And I think this is why people are connecting like a web today, because I love this about Willis. He's the wild, wild Willis. Then I love the ghetto in Shatta. So then
so when I want ghetto,
I look for Shatta and go for reggae.
If you want gengetone,
then when they want sense,
they come to CJ.
So you find people have...
But it's true, it's true.
They have all these people around them.
Yeah.
It's the same way you hear, now for example, even ladies will have a man who provides, then they have the man that brings out the wild in them, that hangs out with them. Then there's the man they want to settle down with. Because they're compartmentalizing, they're looking for all these things in different people. I think communication, that's where I was going to. I think communication would help us in a lot of these things. Where if I feel that I'm being used, I need to voice it. Then I need to express how I would feel more appreciated. If I feel that there are certain things that are lacking, I need to voice that. I need to say, look, I wish we could do this a bit more. This means something to me. I'm thinking of the first C she talked about, which is compromise, that I wish we could do this. So that is a place where compromise comes in. I love to do long drives. My wife doesn't. If we're going to do that, it means that we will compromise.
You can do like a relatively shorter drive.
So if I insist I need to go on a drive and she says I don't want to go on a drive, there's a part we will miss out. So I need to understand she doesn't like them. She needs to know that I like them, so what can we do in that? Is a sense of compromise. Because if she doesn't then, and I still feel like I need to do my drive, I'll do my drive alone. Then if she loves walking, she loves doing walks, I don't. So if I don't compromise, I will not come into the walk. So it is just those things of give and take.
You can drive to a place and walk.
Yeah, so it is a matter of you communicate your expectations, and then you communicate what you would love to see. You keep on working it. And no matter how long you've been together, Willis, you have to keep on communicating because you're changing daily. At one point you love drives, one point you realize, man, I don't love driving anymore. And the other person is stuck at who you used to be. And now you have to communicate who you are right now. At one point you love going out to watch football. At one point you've left it, you're playing golf. So they're stuck
That'll
at
be me
football.
next year.
So it has got to continually go on.
Yeah.
I think we cannot build relationships on eggshells while walking on eggshells. We have to communicate respectfully though. But we have to communicate and communicate. Yeah.
So is it possible, Shatta, do you think it's possible now that we have a sort of kuna mwenye anatafuta huyu kufanya hii na huyu kufanya hii, is it possible to have all of this and enjoy it with one person?
No. Can't happen.
Jasmine won't agree with you.
Let me tell you.
I'm telling you, you can bring out the dark in someone, you can experience the light in someone. The mistake you make is thinking one person can be the village for all your needs.
Yes.
They're not built to be that. They're not, Shatta is not built to be, you know, the person who advises me perfectly, yet you provide, yet you give me love. It won't happen all at one time. It might happen throughout the year. You'll be able to be those different parts.
As it gets wiser.
Because you're also going through life, right? So he's also a human being experiencing. So the mistake is thinking this one person will be my everything when the village raised one person at a time. So that's why the need for different people, that's why not codependent relationships, that's why working towards transcendence. And it might sound that's hard because I'm just trying to even just stay in this minimal relationship. But that's why it becomes conscious, because 95%, the research has shown, 95% of your life is determined by the relationship and the person you choose to spend the rest of your life with. Why? You wake up to them. You wake up happy or upset. You go back to bed with them. You go back to bed upset or unhappy. They are your corner, right? You know, things go wrong in life. That's the person you have to rely on.
That's why I knew, I was waiting. I couldn't. That's why I started laughing. I knew Shatta is going to have something to say.
Because entrusting 95% of your life to someone else, ndugu yangu, hata kama ni risk taker, you overdo it. You overdo. But Kenyoluka umeuliza, unajua pia hizi vitu zote huwezi pata kwa mtu mmoja, but pia wewe accept. Unajua accept that I will not get these things from Willis or from Shaz. I won't get all of them. Am I okay to be bila hizi? Unaona, if I'm not okay na haizi nipatia, walk. Usikae hapo uishi maisha ya hasira. Ukisema gawezi nisaidie na hii. Another thing, men are used to compromise, and you're trained to compromise. Unaelewa? And you're trained to take in everything that comes your way. Sawa. And when you complain about it, you're told you're not a man. Hiyo tu hataki kusema tu nataka tu emotional support. Ukisema hivyo utambo you're a weak man. In fact, you're not a man. So nini unauliza? Unaget? So it's easier for men to enable these toxic behaviors and people that take from you. And you know a person that takes, they'll keep taking and they'll never stop taking. And as a man, you're trying to accept that. Unaona? We need lessons za kuonesha mse cheki Buddha. It's not okay for this to happen because currently we believe it's okay. Kuna hizo convenience, for example, you have a wife na analea watoi, but she's very toxic. So you tell yourself, as long as my children are okay, I will keep providing. I will keep giving them everything as long as these children are growing. Unaona? You forget you. you say, I'll do it for the kids. You always find a reason to enable what this person is doing to you. No. And that is the dilemma that most men find themselves in. And if you walk out, it is now the society against you. Why did you leave your children? Not even your wife. Now they move it to the children. Why did you walk away from your children? Unaelewa? Why did you walk away from your wife? Why did you walk away from your husband? Because there are also women, the men that will stay because the women are providing. It's not just men that provide alone, also women provide nowadays. And you will stay, but she's providing and she's very toxic. Unaget, the fact that she's providing. Na unasema nini? Mimi nitoke na nimeshazoeshwa kubebwa na hii hari ya kubebwa na hii Noah, kubebwa na hii Range Rover. Unakaa tu. Unaelewa? What we need to do is to be clear from the word go, from the get go. This is what I expect. Unaona, it's not love or it's love. And don't start changing the goal, shift the goalposts when we are mid the journey. Sawa.
Yes.
Hiyo ni kitu kingine ngori sana. I'd rather me vitu ziende. I don't like uncertainty.
But isn't that what
I work with figures and numbers and statistics. I do not want to second guess. I do not want to second guess my life. Maybe this will happen. Tuambiane from the word go. I am here because of money. I am here because of love. I am here because of this and this and that. So when you start changing from that which we said, now we have a problem.
No, but then that I think that's, I don't know if I've gathered anything from today's conversation, Roberta, is that there is, over the course of time, there'll be, people are changing.
Yeah.
So I might have told you I'm here for the money, but I need some love
Catch
now.
feelings.
People are changing, but the core of you does not change. There is the core. So these are just feelings. But the frame stays.
No, but
what is the frame?
But at the time, the core might have been corrupted with money. And now you realize the core needs love.
You know, when you're
corrupted.
When you're trying to be a better person, growth is inevitable. Like, you don't even notice the growth and the changes coming. They just sweep you, because the relationship can start off as we just want intimacy, and then as we go on, okay, I enjoy spending time with you, I like talking to you all the time, you know, and then now you want something different. It doesn't mean that you've changed and now you're being weird. It's just that we're human beings. Like Shazmin said, we have these core things that we need, and validation is among them. Like, you want to feel significant in whatever situation you're in. So it changes. You start to want love. It's very, very basic, and it's very, very normal. So I think the thing is also, like, when you're getting with someone, it's very difficult to be very honest in the beginning. You know, I'm not going to outwardly come and tell you, I want your money. I want you to start giving me money. This is why I'm here.
Why?
It's not that easy.
That is let me tell you, man, these streets though, kuna hata wanakuambia tu wewe cheki.
Mimi niko hapa juu ya the coin.
Ukizota mimi na step.
Na ikoria. Afadhali huyo mwenye anakuambia ukweli.
Ukweli. I actually prefer that. Sorry.
I had a question to you, ukiongea tu. Tumesema you might kaa uliingia ukitaka hii, si ndio? Then maybe now you start needing love. Okay? When you start needing that love, and this other person is not willing or able to give that love, is it their problem?
It's not. It's not, because we have to communicate. That's why I always advocate for people getting into relationships and unions when they are friends, because then it becomes easier for you to be able to talk about your expectations, what you want from this other person, whether you're changing, whether you have different needs at this point, because it should be as easy as saying, I want a hug, I want love, I want extra validation, whatever it is. So as human beings, the more you want to improve yourself, the easier the change comes. And then it just carries you, like it's a flow. It just happens to you. It's not something, you know, you decide in July, I'm going to start wanting love, and I'm going to, you know, it just happens. It's something that happens. And the more you improve, the more you learn how to communicate your needs, the more you're able to be honest even with yourself. Because the moment you're honest with yourself, it becomes easier for you to just communicate what it is you want. And I was trying to say, in the beginning, it might not be as easy, you know, to say, this is what I want, this is what I want. But as you go on, and when you commit yourself to improving yourself, to be better for yourself, you're able to be better for everyone else around you. And you won't take the change as, you know, they're shortchanging me, I'm something weird. It's just going to be, easy communication, because at this point you're friends and you're able to say, Roberta, I know this is how you feel, but I'm not able to give you the love that it is that you want right now because of 1, 2, 3, or I'm not able to give you the money that it is you want, 1, 2, 3, or I feel like whether you're feeling used, you know, I'm not able to give you the intimacy, you just take, you, whatever situation it is, you're going to be able to communicate better in whatever situation you are in. The thing I'm realizing with this conversation is that most of us are finding it very difficult to be honest with ourselves. And this hinders us even being honest with other people, because if you do not know within yourself what it is you want, you know, I'd rather, like Shatta said, I'd rather you be that person who wants money and you know, I'm here for the money,
Or
it's the money I want.
CJ said, the wild. Mimi nataka wild, after you, okay,
Yeah.
don't call me.
It's better that way, but not everyone is ever going to be like that with you.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do for yourself is love yourself enough to be able to discern whether this person is meeting your needs or they're not. Because when you love yourself and say, I love myself, I buy myself everything, I have everything I need, and the kind of man I want is someone who complements that lifestyle. And there's something else I'm offering, it's just maybe not, it's just different. Maybe I'm giving him what he needs and he's giving me what I need. If I'm able to be honest with myself, and these are things I give myself, so whether he gives it to me or not, I'm not fazed. But if I'm not getting it from him, I'm able to say, you know, I love myself like this. This is how I show myself I love myself. I expect you to show me like this. And if you're not able to, then it's okay. Peace. I don't have to settle within the situation or try to make things work if I don't want to. And if you want to badly, then you're gonna make it work. So it's love yourself enough to be able to tell, you know, what Shazmin did wasn't that nice, or Shazmin hasn't been loving me enough of late, and I can tell because, hypothetical, because like the level you've set for yourself and the standards you've already set for yourself, you know, this is what I expect. Of course, we're humans, and you know, sometimes we're gonna fall short. CJ talked about it, and sometimes like, the expectations might hurt your feelings and everything, but we're human beings. As long as you've communicated and you know what you want within yourself, everything someone else does is extra, but you're able to tell they can meet my level, they can meet me where I'm at. And if they don't, whether she just calls me for money, you know, I promise you can find someone else, like the Wild Willis, elsewhere to give you what you want. It doesn't have to be, you can always find someone else. So we just keep ourselves in these situations because of fear.
I'm happy. I've been used an example by CJ and by Roberta. This is a good day. Yeah. I am the 4 things, people.
Loving part of Willis. So I'm like, okay.
You know, Willis, I wanted to bring out what Shatta was talking about. I think, you see, even just, and Shatta is a father, you know that even your children will express different needs at different times.
Yes.
As they grow, at some point you might even think you're losing them, because what used to meet their need may no longer meet their need. I think today, for example, it is even harder to know what to do with kids over stuff like holidays, because most of what some of us grew up with as destinations and fun, we give our kids every day. So those special meals, those special travels, these have become very common for them. So they get to a certain place. My son is celebrating his birthday tomorrow, and I keep on asking him, so what are we supposed to do for you this time? And their needs change. I remember one time when he was turning 14, he was around here last week, when he was turning 14, and he'd taken these photos. He did his haircut, took these photos, and he told them, Mom, don't post my photos without asking me. And I will let you know which ones you can post. You see, this is a kid that you could do his stuff a few years before, but he's growing, he's changing. With growth, there will always be change. So sometimes it's not that people have shifted, they're becoming more conscious of certain things around them. Like, you could have gotten into a relationship to escape your past. Then you come into a place now where you begin to realize you can actually get more, where it's no longer survival. You now want to begin to thrive. There are certain things you thought were impossible. So maybe you came from a poor background and all you wanted was the security. Then you get in there, then you realize, so it is actually possible for me to be in a stable and thriving relationship. Then you begin to now demand that. It's not that those things were not in you, but you had numbed them because you never thought they were possible. Sometimes we just shut certain needs that we have, which makes me feel, you know, when Roberta says most of us don't know our needs, I think we do. We fear expressing them. We fear expressing them because of how we will be looked at. Maybe we will be rejected. Maybe we'll be said, as Shada says, you know, you're not a man. Or people will talk you down for expressing your needs. So you know, this is what I need, but you don't know whether the people will allow you and permit you to express those needs. So most people would rather hide those needs and just numb them. But when they get into a place where they begin to feel secure and safe and comfortable, they begin to bring them out. Right. So if you've been with somebody, for example, you may have had them in the initial days be very quiet. Then later on, you hear them talk a lot, and you say, you've changed. Well, they become more comfortable.
Yeah.
They may not have been people who were, in quotes, argumentative. Yeah. Then they get to a place where they'll keep on saying, why should we do that? Why should we follow that? Then you think, this person has changed, they become rude. No, they become more confident. They are now safe enough to know I can actually question Willis and he will not victimize me for that. They were keeping quiet before because probably they came up from environments where your voice was not supposed to be heard. Now they're actually telling you they feel safe with you. But you see, how you will interpret that is that, so nowadays you've become disrespectful, but you don't realize you've created an environment for this person to grow. I think it takes a lot of work just to get to understand how we are all evolving, how we're all growing, how we're all expressing our needs. And I needed to say, you see, again, somebody else did this talk about the hierarchy of needs. You know,
yes,
you start with you start with your physiological needs and end up at self-actualization. So at some point, maybe what I need is the upkeep and the money. Some point what I need is the affection. But it gets to a place where no matter how much you give me and how much you put around me, if I am not feeling that I am getting into my element as a person, I will still feel not appreciated because I've grown into that place. Now I no longer have the insecurities of maybe if I lose my job, what will happen to me if I don't have this? You already have the house, you have the car, you have all of this. You begin to ask yourself, so who am I? What am I supposed to do? Right. And everybody wants to get there, including children. They want to get there. If you don't know that, you can get upset with somebody who is walking towards their self-actualization, thinking that they no longer need
changing.
you. Right. But it's not that they no longer need you. They're just trying to get into something else. So you couldn't be saying, I'm providing for you everything. They're not denying that. They're now growing into their next
Something
level
else.
of needs.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll have to end it there. But, you know, we'll just still have to have more of this conversation because, again, convenience could be you're just enjoying somebody's, all the work they've taken to get themselves to a place where they're mentally stable. And now you want to come in there and leech on it.
Can I give you two lines to the difference with convenience and love? I read a beautiful quote that says, when you see a flower that you really like, you pluck it.
Yeah.
But when you see a flower that you really love, you water it. And that is the distinction between an unhealthy relationship and a healthy relationship.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Keep watering us.
Keep watering us. Keep watering us. Thank you so much. Make sure you catch one Shatta Boy and QT on Radio Season 10 to 1 every single day. Check out Roberta's website, www.loveandorgasm.com. Her podcast going by the same name as well. Shazmeen Bank on all social media. Yeah, man, you can go and follow over there. She has amazing videos, by the way, that she does, especially on Instagram. You can go and check it out as well. Check out CJ Atema, who above all these things is also an author. So buy his books, ask him for them as well. And and get, like he said, conscious information. Pia munifuate mimi sasa, I guess I have all this in one.
When you say keep watering us, please, not money.
Ona sasa.
Well, everyone should just
no
switch to
level.
Formula One, I
There's-
think.
Yeah, let's just go
Lewis
to
Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah.
8 points to go.
There's no level of water.
That will help us. Mungu atusaidie sana. Remember, successful people look like you, and no matter what they try to tell you, like the great Manchester United, peace and love.